Hey everyone, it's Mel. We are back out in the garden and it's already 83 degrees at 7 a.m. and super humid. My glasses are fogging. But I wanted to come out here and just show you guys because I haven't posted in a little bit and I'll tell you why, in a little while and I'll tell you why. But I just wanted to show you guys where we are in the garden. It is June 2025. I've made some improvements. I have some ways to go. So I figured I'm gonna start at the front where you enter my garden and we'll just do one side. We'll do the north facing side of the garden in this garden walk, and maybe we'll do the south facing side in a different video because I won't be out here for long. I am melting already. All right, let's get going. Oh, I meant to move that hose out of the way. That's okay. We're gonna need the hose out today for sure. Okay, here is where you enter my garden. And I didn't love that the two roses that I planted in those pots here, they're not really doing well, and maybe no fault of their own or of mine rather. They suffered last year really terribly from the spotted lantern flies that were just attacking it. They already suffer from black spot, but you can spray for that. There's organic spray for that. But the spotted lantern fly just wreaked havoc on these poor white iceberg climbing roses. So what I think I'm going to do is take them out, put them somewhere, and also they're getting shaded by this Limelight hydrangea hedge. Oh, so sorry for the sun, it's so sunny. That is now covering the most part of the rose. So I'm gonna put them out, put them on the sunny side of the yard and see how they do. But I have here behind the entrance a arborvitae. This is a green giant arborvitae. She's not very happy in this pot. I'm gonna take her out and put her in a landscape. What I just did last night before I did this tour, before I started this garden walk, is I planted up, she's so pretty, the Empress Wu Hosta. Now, she's not very large yet because she's just a baby. I'm gonna cut off that bloom stalk. But she will take up this entire area because she can get 4 feet wide, which is what I want, because here, again, we're just getting a bunch of shade because we have this limelight, huge limelight here. It's about 7 feet now, maybe 7.5. But I also planted, let's see, I saved the tag so that I can read it to you guys and give you the proper information. So this is a sedum. It's a ground cover sedum, and it is called blue spruce sedum. Now, when I picked it up from the store, I didn't know that it got yellow blooms until I went home and did some more investigation. Did a little bit more research on it. And I don't typically have yellow in my garden, but I brought them home already, so they're here to stay. But they look really pretty here, and it does give it a nice little pop in this area that is just normally sort of blah. So it's a blue spruce sedum, and how wide do they get? Yeah, they can get up to 18 inches wide, which is what I want because I want this whole area here to be covered, and it's usually covered in just weeds. So for it to be covered in this pretty blue spruce sedum, that would look really nice. Okay, and on the other side, oh, let me give you some stats about the Empress Wu Hosta in case you don't know. Man, she's really a beauty. I have her planted, and we'll see it as we're doing our walk, in another part of the garden right past the hydrangea hedge. So, and she's been in the ground in that area for about 2 years. So you can really get a good sort of point of view from a plant that you just put in the garden in year 1 versus what we're about to see that's been in there for a couple of years now. So we'll see the difference. Okay, so the Empress Wu is in the Shadowland collection from Proven Winners. And here we go. Let's see, what does the tag say here? It's a little dirty, but I can show you the tag. You can can see for yourself also. Or maybe you can't see for yourself because I'm not focusing in nicely. But I'll just read it to you guys. It can get up to 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall, and you want to give it spacing about 60 inches according to what the tag says. But you wouldn't think from this little tiny, well, it's not tiny, but from this normal size hosta that she will take up this whole area. And as a matter of fact, I probably will need to move the sedum that's closer to her as she grows. All right, so on the other side of the entryway, oh, look how pretty, just a little pop. We have a caladium from Monrovia. This is called Party Punch Caladium. Isn't that so cute? Here's some stats on the Party Punch Caladium. At maturity, it can get 12 to 18 inches wide. And in my zone, I'm in New York Zone 7B, caladiums do not winter over. I'd have to dig it up and replant the tubers next year, or the corms, or the bulbs, whatever they have. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to treat it as an annual, which it is in my area, and I'll just enjoy it for the season. But right next to the Party Punch Caladium, I have, let me grab the right tag for this one. And I just so happen to have the tag for these things because literally just planted these up last night because I wanted to show you guys something pretty when we did this garden walk. So I made sure I did this. I was out until like past 8:30 last night. This is called, I think, Minuteman Hosta. Now, obviously, hosta is a perennial, so let me give you some stats on this hosta. Oh, it could get 40 feet. Well, I always get surprised when I read it because it just starts so small. And to think that this is going to get 40 feet wide. Now, that's cool with me because, again, those caladiums will come out and that will give the hosta space to grow into their mature size here probably in the next couple of years. But in the meantime, I can have fun with the Party Punch caladiums. Okay, so let's continue on through the arbor. Well, at least we have one bloom coming in. Again, this is the Iceberg Climbing Rose. Now, she had her flush already at the beginning of spring, and she's in a lull, but her lull looks pretty sad. Okay, so as we're walking by, we're going to pass. Look how pretty. She's taller than my fence, and my fence is 6 feet, so she must be at least 7, close to 8 feet. This beautiful hydrangea. It's a Limelight hydrangea, which is a panicle hydrangea, which means it blooms on new wood. So this would be considered this fresh green here, new, which for me is great because if we have a really tough winter, lots of snow, and if a stem breaks off, that's okay because we're still going to get blooms because it blooms on new wood. So I'm not really concerned about that. Look, here's a here's a bloom from last year that I didn't get to take off, but you can see like the panicle shape of the hydrangea versus more of the mop head hydrangea, round shape. And I believe for Limelight, the zone is anywhere from like zone 3 to zone, I want to say 8 or 9, because they can take heat. Okay, remember when I said I had an Empress Wu planted out in the landscape? This is her. This is only year 2. Look at this huge. You see that? Huge. Now, when I planted this bed up, maybe now 2 years ago, everything had so much space between each other. It was looking pretty sparse. And I was thinking, oh, I want this bed to look full. It looks kind of naked. But boy, now I'm gonna have to come in because the Empress Wu is covering this heuchera here. How pretty these heucheras are. The great thing about heucheras, don't mind those weeds, I'm going to get to them. The great thing about heucheras is that you can plant, they come in so many different colors, and you could just have like pops, right? So have a drift of one and then a pop here, a pop there, to really create a variation of color for your eye instead of just having all green. Or hey, you can just have all green. That's okay too. Look at these pretty bloom stalks on this heuchera. It's going to seed, well, it's going out now, but it still looks so pretty, the structure of the bloom. And that fern back there, that's a lady in red fern. That pretty girl back there is a weed that keeps coming from under the fence, but that's okay, we'll take care of it. And let's see, where's my little mouse ears? Hosta. I forget even where I planted it because now it's covered and it wasn't before when I first planted her up. Anyway, I'll have to get in here and find her, but I have two. I can show you the other one. Here she is. She's not looking too pretty, but this is a little mouse ear hosta, and I think she's not liking that she's totally covered. I mean, hosta, they do like shade, but she needs to get a little bit of sun. Again, everything was so spread out. Everyone had so much space. That's another lady in red fern. But now that the hostas are really growing, and because when I planted this bed, the hostas I got as little starts. Like, I didn't even know what they were. And I ordered a bunch online because I have this bed to fill in, right? So I said, I'll just get a bunch of little ones, more bang for my buck. I'll fill in the bed quicker that way. This one, obviously, I purchased from my local nursery, not as a start, but already planted up, just like the plant we just saw at the front of the garden. I did see that. It said, oh, she'll get 4 feet wide. But wow, she's really taken over here. So it's just a variation of different hostas and different heucheras. This bed just gives me so much joy. It's so pretty. Okay, let's start making our way down to the next bed. Okay, so as we make our way down to continue on the north facing side, we are going to walk through the rose arbor garden, which is really taken off. I don't want to stop here though, because I'm going to talk about her when we do the the south facing side of the garden, because that's mostly a sunbed. This poor chap here is our knockout rose, and this vine, this is morning glory. I pull, she comes back. I dig up, she comes back. So I'm going to have to dig her out. It's actually 2 together. I mean, she's alive and she's healthy. She's putting on fresh new growth, which is nice, but overall she's not super happy. I don't like that for her. So I'm gonna have to dig her out and put her on the more sunnier side of the garden. Poor girl. Okay, here we are now. I don't know how many of you watched my video, maybe now 2 years ago, when I planted this bed. This bed initially only had these little itty bitty hydrangeas. These are big leaf hydrangeas. You can see they were so tiny when I planted them. They barely had any blooms. And the blooms they did have faded really quickly. Get this rose spray out the way. But now they are looking really happy. And these are, some of them are from the Let's Dance series from Proven Winners. And typically big leaf hydrangeas, more old school mop head hydrangeas, they bloom on old wood, which means they bloom on the buds that form that current fall slash winter, or that current year. So when spring comes in the next year, if you have a really hard winter, your bulbs are, or if you have like a fall spring where the weather starts warming up, your buds are like, yay, we can start opening. And then a frost comes back and it's spring and you're like, oh man, my buds are gone. I'm not going to get any blooms. Or if you accidentally prune your big leaf hydrangea at the wrong time, you've cut off your blooms. So that's who these girls are. And they're just loving this area. So I thought I should amp this bed up a little bit. So I added this year Hostas, more Heucheras, but I also added some lamb's ear. I don't know if this is the Helen Von lamb's ear, or is it the smaller version? I can't remember. I purchased it earlier this spring, but I think they look really, really cute next to the Hosta and then next to the Heucheras. It's just the variation of the different greens that you get when you plant different green plants together. It makes the other one pop, if you know what I mean. These are Heucheras from the Proven Winners line. The roseberry, blackberry. I always forget. I'll put it up on the screen. Just absolutely loving this area. She's so pretty. And this is a little tiny baby hydrangea. I got it from like my local hardware store. They were selling starts that they made themselves, and I was like, I can really do my own starts, but I grabbed one anyway. And I thought she was a goner for sure. I thought she was a goner over the summer or over the winter, and I was gonna dig her up and take her away. But she came back, and look, a little baby bloom coming in. So cute. Oh, look just how pretty these blooms are. Oh, I love it. So cute. Warms my heart. All right, let's continue down as we go. Put my brick back into the big shade bed. This is my pretty wisteria. I have to get her planted. I'm gonna put her on the cabana, let her grow up the beams, and let her shield me from the sun. We have more hosta back there, more green giant arborvitaes, to hopefully when they grow up cover the windows there. We have 3 here, but I'm gonna put one more right there. And we have more hosta hiding behind there. Okay, here is, we'll just take a quick view, a long view. Here is the big hosta bed. I did a video with planting up the hostas in this bed, well, maybe now 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. Time just really flies. Anywho, I added and will be adding more to this bed because ultimately I don't want to keep weeding so much and mulching so much, because I get little helicopters or whatever they're called from my neighbor's tree, and it just covers, like I'll put down a fresh mulch and it covers all of the mulch, and it looks like I didn't do anything. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about, what it looks like, and it just covers everything. I think those little things are from the tree. You know, they don't look nice when you put down fresh mulch. So I figured I'll just get all these plants in here and have the plants help me cover the ground. I have to finish my brick line here. But again, just different variations of hostas, different colors that pop nicely next to each other. And I just picked up, well, maybe now a week ago, not just, but I didn't have time to put it in the garden. This is Dark Side of the Moon Astilbe, and look how tall. I can probably cut these off now, but these were, when they were in bloom, something to behold. They were lovely, and I just love the leaves. Remind me of a hosta leaf. They're just so dang pretty. Let's see. I still have the tag on here so I can read the stats for you guys. Let's see. Medium height, 22 inches. And clearly, this thing is at least 22, maybe 24 inches. But she's just so lovely. So I picked up 2 of those. More hostas that I have in a pot, or not hostas, heucheras that I have in a pot that I have to put in the ground. That's a hosta waiting to go in the ground. Here's another Astilbe. I've got 2 of these. Vision in Red Astilbe. Oh, please don't bite me. Now her blooms was like a deep pink, not so much a red, but just like a pretty beautiful deep pink that is now have faded out, but from a distance she still looks really pretty. I'm okay with it. So I got 2 of those, and I just got this one Brunera or Brunera, however you want to pronounce it. Still the same plant. Look how pretty she is. And which one is this? It's Jack of Diamonds. This is a Jack of Diamonds Brunera or Brunera. Let's see. Height, she gets 16 inches. Height, or 14 by 16 inches. Okay, we like that. It's another hosta. I mean, the hostas are just, you can get hundreds of different hostas and not have it be the same. This is the same one I have in the front. Carrying the same in the back helps with creating a nice cohesion in your garden. But look at this girl. Her blooms are still going, and I got her at the same time that I got the others. Look at that. Isn't she so pretty? Okay, so this one I got at my local nursery. Here she is. Astilbe Vision in Pink. Wait, hold on. Oh, this was Vision in Red. Vision in Red from Monrovia. And this is a Vision in Pink. Again, a pink bloom, but just a lighter pink, almost like a bubblegum pink. Not so pretty. Oh, love it. Another Heuchera. And these 2 big girls over here, look at those ladies. Oh my goodness. Those are not the Empress Woo La La hosta. And when I planted those girls, my fern had space to breathe. Now, not so much. So I think I need to dig her out. Maybe I'll put her in the front in that little empty spot there. All right, I'm going to wrap up this north-facing side of the tour, but before we go, we gotta look at another hydrangea. Wouldn't be me if we didn't have another hydrangea. This is a quick fire. This is the original quick fire. I think this is her 3rd year. When I purchased her from my local hardware store, it was just like 3 sticks, like maybe 4 sticks. And it was really sort of like a faith in planting kind of a thing. Oh, it's another hosta in a pot that I gotta get in the ground. And there were only 2 left in the store because I think Proven Winners stopped making this one, the Quickfire. I think now they do Quickfire Fab. So I just took one and I left one for someone else. I wish now I took both, but that's okay. Look how lovely she is in this corner. Now granted, this is a shady side and she is like a lace cap, more of a, I mean, her blooms will be more panicle shaped, but they'll be more open like a lace cap, so she could do more sun. But I kind of like her here in this corner. And she is backed by, look at this ghost fern that I have to get in the ground. Look at that ghost fern. Look how pretty. Oh my gosh. That is a lady in red. And back there in that hole that I dug, but I didn't get my plant in yet, will go ostrich fern. So this is going to be a little fern haven back here next to the hostas and hydrangeas. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And thank you also for, I know I'm not making videos as consistent or as frequent rather as you may like and as I may like, but I thank you anyway for sticking in there with me. I had some stuff going on, as we all do in life. I just completed my master's program. That took me 3 years part-time after work in the evenings. And that, you know, required a lot of reading, writing papers, studying, research, time, basically time. And it took me away from my garden for a little bit. I didn't have enough time, or the time I wanted to dedicate to making videos and to planting up my garden. But now that I have completed my program, I should have more time. Although, guys, I just got a puppy. so maybe not as much time, but more time. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for subscribing. It does not go unnoticed and unappreciated. I'm so appreciative, and I really thank you guys sincerely, and gals. All right, until we see each other again, everyone, take care.